Alright guys, now we are going to do our fruit juice. So we just got done with our green juice. If you haven't seen that video, we did our green juice right prior to this one. I already have everything set up. You can see it's all dirty. Slop bucket's just about full. Got my strainer in my juice cup, so that's ready to go. Again, we're going to put our lighter in first, which for my fruit juices, what I've been doing is I've been doing grapes, what are these called? Oranges, apples. I got one big green apple, 4 Fuji apples, or 5 Fuji apples, and 3 pears, and then pineapple. Now I was eating other fruits during my my raw, you know, right prior to juicing. And so I did run watermelon through, which I cut it up small, and I used the rind too. I threw the rind in with the watermelon. I did cantaloupe. I did not throw the rind of the cantaloupe in there. And a couple other fruits too that I no longer do. But yeah, so you know, all kinds of different fruits. Again, the pineapple's going to get cut up small. I'll show you how I do that because it is stringy and it will clog up your chute. And again, if your chute gets clogged up, guys, all you got to do, if your chute gets clogged up, all you got to do is release that, and it's right, I forgot to close my juice thing, and that's where it gets clogged up at, right in there, and you just pull that out. You'll take your knife, you'll dig it out and get your clog out, and then you're good to go, and then you just shut it back up again, and you're back in business. So it's not a huge deal. Just the one thing you want to do is make sure before you pull that off there, close your thing. I always forget to close that. I get juice everywhere. But again, so we'll throw our lighter stuff in first, which is our grapes. The only other light thing would be the, well, I guess the pineapple's very light too, because my pineapple does go in next. So we'll throw these grapes in here. Okay, I'll show you guys, I don't know how many people cut up pineapples, but this is the quick way to do it. I come back about yay far on the end, and you can see it's a little rot right there, so I'll just cut that corner off there, so that way that's done. Spinning around, come about that far in on the end. Yep, that side looks good, and then I'll just stand this sucker up. Everything in the slop bucket. Okay. And then all I do is I flip this over and see this is hard end where the outer shell. So I'll just cut that off. Yep. Okay, and then I'll cut this sucker right in half. And then this is how I do it. Now, again, if you don't cut these up small enough, they'll clog up your juicer. I don't like cutting them up too small. So this is how I do it. Okay, just like that, and then I'll come this way. All right, and so you can see they're about that big, which is perfect for me, and it doesn't seem to clog up the chute. So that's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to create more work for ourselves. And then I'll close that up. Again, you're not going to pack this down. Don't pack it down. There's a fill line right there. That's where you're going to fill it to. Don't forget to put your shit right there. So pulp bucket there, juice bucket in, strainers in the juice bucket, and turn it on. Let her go to work. And then we'll cut up oranges. So I leave my peel on my oranges. These don't have seeds in them, so I don't have to worry about de-seeding them. And I cut them up about yay big, so about eighths into eighths. And then I do like cutting my oranges in half, so they're in 16ths. So I'll cut it up. That's a half an orange. I'll cut it up 1, 2, and then that's 3, 4, and then I'll cut these in half, and that's it. And then since these are lighter, I do put those in next. And then you can see the juice filling up. I forgot to open my chute. You see the juice filling up here, like Brandon was saying in the green juice video. So we're gonna open that up and let that flow. And it empties rather quickly.
Can smell it.
Yeah, this comes out very sweet, guys. These juices, this juice comes out extremely sweet. That's why I like adding the apples and pears into it. Again, just like my green juice, everything here is for the gut, except for these 2 oranges. That's the only extra thing that I add in, that I don't think the oranges are really gut-centric, focused at all. But otherwise, pineapple, pears, apples, and grapes are all good for the gut. And this is how I cut my apples up. I just cut them real close to the core there. And you can see how small. I do, if I got any seeds over here, I'll pick those out of my apples. So I'll cut my apples into slices about that big, and then I'll cut them in half.
And how come you don't throw the core in there?
I don't know, it seems harder, so I don't, the core is hard. Plus they say that apple seeds are poisonous, but I don't know about it. I think that's ridiculous. Who knows, right? I'm sure I've eaten plenty of apple seeds as a kid. But yeah, I don't know, I don't throw my core in there. Do you?
No.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how big of a deal that would be if I did. I'm going to turn that off. Actually, this is already full. So remember, we're going to close this chute before we pull the juice container out, so we don't get juice all over our counter. And then we will strain this out. A lot of juice held in there, and I do put a nice amount of pressure on there to squeeze the rest of that juice out of all that pulp in here, because that juice just keeps on coming. That's why I keep on going up and down with it. All right, and then you can see all the pulp left on there, and we'll get rid of that. Okay, and then you can see all the pulp stuck in there. And we've already ran all our green juice through, so this is really, if you don't do this, by the time you get to this point, the juice is going to have a hard time getting through there. So we'll go ahead and start filling up our half-gallon mason jar. Okay. Make sure you put your strainer back in. Open your juice chute. We'll go ahead and open that back up. Let's see, let's get this cut up. What fruits have you been doing, Brandon?
So I was doing just grape. I ran just grape through there. And then I did pineapple, banana, and ginger one time just because I had bananas with me. But since then I've just been doing pineapple and ginger.
How did the banana one taste? Did you get flavor out of the banana?
Yeah. And actually, yesterday I did do. Gwen, she had avocados here that were just sitting. She said I could use them, and so I ran the avocados through there.
Oh, interesting.
The pulp is heavy on that, but the flavor, yeah, you definitely taste the flavor of the avocado. Yeah, so I did like cucumber, avocado, and celery.
Oh, nice.
And that was really good. But yeah, fruit. I haven't mixed any fruits like you're doing. I'm going to do that now because the grape juice is just way too sweet for me. So I'm gonna have to mix that up and probably do something with my pineapple and ginger one too.
Yeah.
Probably add like celery and such to it.
Yeah, something to do. The apples and pears are great to bring that flavor down, that sweetness down. Obviously this is a Granny Smith. Those are pretty damn sweet, but these regular red apples or even Fuji's or Galas. I think these are Galas. And then the pears, they're a real much more bland flavor, so they help take all that sweetness out of that damn thing. But like you said, celery and cucumber are great for taking the sweetness out of it too. So again, we're getting the pineapple cut up real small. Again into eighths and then into sixteenths. Cut them in half. Those are perfect sized. And then this is my extra, so because we're gonna fill up this gallon here in a minute, and so that way I have a little bit of everything to go into my last little quart-sized mason jar. Good. Good stuff, man. All right. Throw that there. We'll go ahead and get an apple cut up and ready. Turn that on.
Yeah, that's the thing that always got me with the cooked food and indulging in that is like, so when you have these cravings or when you were hungry before, when you thought you were feeling hunger, you would indulge in your normal way of eating, which was meat, cooked food, just high density. But all you crave after that is something hydrating, either water or just something hydrating, something nourishing. But now that we're just going, once we feel that hunger or once we crave, and we're intaking this stuff that's actually hydrating, it's like that's what the body's actually asking for. It's not asking for the snacks or the sugar or the cooked meals. It's actually, when you're feeling those cravings, it's more your body asking for hydration, something actually nourishing.
Yeah.
And when you drink that, it's not like you crave a cooked meal afterwards, you feel totally satiated and nourished. Yeah, that's what I noticed. Every time I'd eat cooked food, all I wanted was something hydrating.
Yeah, and I mean that, that's just a testament to how dry that stuff. Like, there's no nutrition in that. Your body's literally begging for something to help it digest. That's crazy, Like, and we don't think we do it all the time, and we think there's nothing wrong. It's just natural to be that thirsty. No, it's not.
That's something I think Kev Ramon was saying. He's like, we drink, per person, we drink more than we ever have water, and yet we're the most dehydrated we've ever been.
Yeah, yeah. And it's common sense shit like that just goes over people's heads and they never think about.
Yeah, because people talk about, drink. Well, I think the standard is 8 cups a day, but then you got, the people who are like, you got to drink at least a gallon a day.
I haven't drank any water in fucking over 6 months now. No water.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I've drinking is tea, regular tea. We steep our own tea. These are our tea leaves. We steep our own tea. No, we don't add anything to it. Just different blends of teas. But yeah, no water.
Yeah.
I haven't felt. I get the feeling of dehydration very rarely, and it's usually when I'm working or when I go on a hike or something or riding my bike.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I just give it a minute, my body rehydrates. It completely. It's self-automating. Our bodies are self-automating machines.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to show you guys is the pears. So with my pears, I will cut off my end there, and then here, I just stick my knife in there, and I'll go around, and then I cut this sucker in half, and you can see the seeds there, so I'll cut it into quarters, and then what I'll do is I'll cut out that centerpiece there on all these. Again, I don't put any seeds through there.
But yeah, food is supposed to be nourishing, or, all that meat, all that cooked food and everything is supposed to be energizing and nourishing. Why don't we get a bolt of energy afterwards? Why do we feel tired and
Sluggish.
Yeah,
Brain fog.
We
Can't
want
think.
to we want to relax, or we feel totally complacent. And if food gives you energy, it should be an immediate shot. It should get you. You should feel more motivated to work.
Well,
People,
Yeah, go ahead.
Which people do. I mean, I remember I would eat while working because it was just something to keep me going, because I didn't want to be there in the first place. But it was false. It was a false sense of energy. It was a dopamine hit to get me through. It was like getting through the day by smoking weed. I feel like killing myself because I didn't have weed all day. So that's how it was with food. Like, the food would just give me that, almost like that purpose, to just keep living.
Yeah.
Keep going to work. But it wasn't giving me true nourishment.
And guys, when you sit there and take the time to actually think and be aware and present of what's going on in your life, you'll notice what is your day? Your day is a roller coaster of feeding the entity, the parasite, the snake, the demon, the entity in your belly. Because you go from being hangry, right? I'm so hangry, don't fuck with me, I need something to eat, I'm hangry. And then you eat something, then what happens? Oh, I'm so tired, I gotta sleep, you're feeding a demon. That's not human, that's not natural, that's the most unnatural thing in the world. And it's so apparent because we do it daily. It's on that same roller coaster. You wake up in the morning, oh, I'm hangry, oh, I eat, oh, I'm tired. I mean, it's just so unbelievably simple to realize. And that's why, if you're not paying attention, if you're not being mindful, if you're just going along and doing the same routine every day, you're a mindless minion. You're a zombie. You're not thinking. You're not utilizing the faculties of your mind. Because don't you think years ago, after doing that same process of going through hungriness to tiredness and brain fog, don't you think that you would have changed up your routine decades ago? Most people die at 80 years old never having thought about that. I mean, think about that. How do you go your whole life never thinking about that and processing and changing that behavior? It's because you're being controlled. You're being controlled by the thing inside of you that you've been feeding your whole life. All right, we'll turn this back on. We got the pulp. Here, let's go and empty this. And then we got our juice cup with our strainer in it, and we'll turn that on. Yeah, but it's that mindless way of consuming that we're so used to we don't even realize. And I'll tell you, this whole process of cutting things out and detaching and being mindful and aware constantly and present. I was eating raw fruits and vegetables for the past 6 months. 80% fruit, 20%, pistachios and veggies. And what happened 10 days ago when I got on the juices, while I was cutting things up, I just would almost automatically just toss pieces in my mouth because I was so used to just consuming it whole.
Yeah.
So we don't realize like how quickly and easy it is for us to create habits, and those habits are what our life is. We are a life of habits. So if you have bad habits, if you have habits that are detrimental to your health and well-being, then you need to reassess. And if you're not reassessing after decades of doing something that's not beneficial to you, you are a mindless minion. You are a zombie. You are not living a life. You are an automaton, a robot. Okay.
Yeah, I like how you said in one of your videos, are you just living to fulfill that pleasure, those addictions to the feeling that pleasures give you, or are you, living for pretty much like creativity, for adventure, for the own adventure of life,
The imagination.
the adventure with yourself, discovering your own capabilities and what you really are, But yeah, it's like, if the only things that give you pleasure in life is dopamine hits, like what's the use in even living?
Yeah. Yeah. Because what happens when you lose your job or you don't make as much money, or with inflation going through the roof, or products not being available and you can't get your dopamine anymore, what are you going to do? So now, guys, you can see how this is building up now. So this strainer here is, after doing a gallon and a half, almost 2 gallons now of juicing, this strainer starts getting pretty clogged up. Yeah, see, there's no way. Like, if you're going to buy this juicer and you're doing the juicing, you really want this strainer, guys, because this is a lot of pulp that this strainer is saving. Oh, and also I wanted to mention, so, in the other video, the green video, we were talking about, because this is a $550 juicer, and of course you can go online and find juicers for, $150. The big difference in those juicers is going to be the dryness of your pulp, because this pulp, look how dry that pulp is. The pulp is really dry, so that means it's pulling, 90% of the juice out of that pulp. So you're getting your money's worth in your veggies and fruits that you're buying. So that's going to be a big difference in the lower cost juicers. And then the other thing is you see how much pulp that this is still pushing through into the juice end. On the cheaper juicers, it pushes even more pulp through, a lot more pulp in on this end. So if you do get a cheaper juicer, you're going to want to get a strainer like one of these, one of those strainers, and then pour your juice after you juice it out of your cheaper juicer. Pour your juice through that into your mason jar, to get that pulp out.
Yeah, that's a lot of pulp.
Yeah, that's a lot of pulp. And the whole purpose of this juicing is to get all that, remove all that fiber, so that way your body can just, again, this is negatively charged. So all the mucus that sits inside you is positively charged. So this is pulling magnetically. It's breaking up and pulling that gunk that's been clogging up, that tar that's been clogging up your system for decades since you were born, that's been building up. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get rid of that pulp, so that way your body doesn't have to digest and focus on that. It can just literally, when you're drinking this, it's like medicine. It's like it's like putting a declogger in your drain.
And that's the difference I noticed with drinking juice versus making a smoothie. is I remember still getting extremely bloated off just drinking a smoothie, and feeling like I ate a meal after drinking a smoothie. How I was explaining with the juice, how it feels I can drink it and it doesn't even feel like I broke a fast, because my thing before always was I had to eat at night, because if I put one single bite in my mouth during the day, I was done for the day. I was ready to relax. I was ready to eat more. It just took so much energy from me. But with the juice, I can drink that all day and still feel like I can go and do anything, go and be active, go and work, it doesn't feel like it drains me at all. It doesn't feel like it brings me down at all whatsoever. I literally, so.
Gives you energy.
Yeah.
Which that's what food is supposed to do. It's supposed to give you energy. It's not supposed to bog you down. You're not supposed to get tired after you eat.
And that's even how I felt on the raw diet, I mean, I felt better than when I was eating whatever, but still on that raw diet, I was still, as soon as I'd put that first bite in my mouth, I was done for the day. All that pulp, all that density that comes with it.
Yeah.
One
more thing, guys, with the grapes, you want to make sure you get your little stems off here too. You don't want to run these stems through there, because it probably will clog up that, because it's so fine. Yeah, sorry, Brent, I didn't want to cut you off.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just amazing the difference. I mean, because I thought when I was going to start juicing, I was only going to save it for the end of the day, after work, when I got home, not expecting to do anything else for the rest of the day. But that first day when I took the juice with me to work, which was I think the second day, I took the juice with me to work, and I drank it as soon as I got there at 4 a.m. and I drank the whole half gallon at work and didn't feel any sluggishness, didn't feel, literally gave me energy. It made me productive the whole day.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Whereas I'm serious, any time before, any meal, anything I ate, whether it was healthy or not, as soon as I put that first bite in my mouth, I was done. That was it.
I was the same way. Yep, same exact way.
Yeah, don't expect me to go to work after. Don't expect me to do anything active after. I'm just ready to relax and, relax.
Yeah, I couldn't even think. It would give me brain fog. My brain would shut down.
Yep, brain fog. Yeah, so getting all that density out of the diet is huge.
Yeah, and again, because, I think the major thing is that we've just got so much clogged up in our systems over the years. They're just bogged down, they're like, fuck, man, I need a goddamn break, All right, this is the last of the juice. So we've got 1 gallon here, and then we'll see how much this yields. Again, so the green juice, like I said, that was about $10. And then all this here comes about $10. So I'm at $20, yields me about 2 gallons of juice, and that's all I need for the day. So $20, that's what it costs me to juice and eat. But anything else that you do, I mean, you go to McDonald's and you're going to spend $13 on a fucking meal that's going to poison you, and then you're going to be hungry. 10 minutes after you're going to take a shit and be hungry right afterwards.
Yeah, and just think of how much money when we used to work together and we'd go out each night to eat.
Oh
and
my
we
God,
were only eating
$80 at least every time you go out to eat. Me and you.
We were only eating 1 meal a day too, and still just that one meal.
$80. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh my God, $20 just in juice." That's crazy, but I don't think people understand how much they snack. You know, like every greasy cup, every fucking thing they put in their mouth throughout the day, if they added all that money up, how much money they spend on that,
Yeah.
plus what they pay for it in their health, they pay for it in their ability not to think, and their tiredness, their sluggishness, their work productivity, their non-creativity. You know, it's all of that that's wrapped in, you know?
Yeah.
So when you consider the price of what you're actually putting into your system to poison yourself, it's unreal how much it costs you to poison yourself.
With the number of contractors I've worked with since out of high school, you see they spend at least $40 a day, and that's before they even get home to have dinner.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. I'd say that's a good average, about $40, and that's just eating out a couple shit meals in the day.
Yeah.
Getting stuff from 7-Eleven, their Red Bulls, their fucking energy drinks.
The snacks they bring from home, even, you know, to eat along the ride.
Yeah, those granola bars and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, you add all that up, man, it's expensive.
Yeah. And that's before their dinner, so I mean, that's probably $40 to $80 a day just in food, just in consumption every day. Yeah, you say you've been averaging about 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons of juice every day.
Yep, between 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons. So I got how much did I get out of that? I got almost 1 gallon out of the green juice. So the green juice was almost 1 gallon today. Well, maybe right at 1 gallon. And then it looks like we're gonna be just over 3/4 of a gallon of fruit juice today.
Yep, for $20, and that's where I'm at too. I'm about 2 gallons, no more than 2 gallons a day.
Yeah, so that's 3/4 of a gallon. That's 2 quarts here, 1 quart here, 3 quarts.
Well, even because you're filling it all the way up to here, I think the half gallon like ends right here.
No, you're right, Brennan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
so it is over 3/4 of a gallon. Yeah, so that's it, guys. That was the juicing process, and then what I'm about to do is get these in the fridge, and then I'm going to get this cleaned up. I'm going to actually make another video and show you guys how to take this apart and we'll just narrate while I clean this. That way you guys can sort of see how easy it is to clean that up.
Alrighty.